Welcome, well-informed listeners, to the podcast channel.
Great to be here.
Today we're doing a deep dive, really aiming to help you fully understand a book that's genuinely changed millions of lives.
It really has, hasn't it?
It has. We're talking about Don Miguel Ruiz's The Four Agreements, a practical guide to personal freedom. It's described as a Toltec wisdom book. And our mission today is pretty straightforward. Unpack its core ideas, get into its powerful message, its ancient roots, and really see how it offers this kind of shortcut to personal freedom.
Yeah, and those roots are fascinating. We're talking thousands of years ago, southern Mexico, the Toltec. They weren't just, a civilization. They were known as women and men of knowledge.
Okay.
Scientists, artists, they explored spiritual practices. They gathered at this incredible place, Teotihuacan, near modern Mexico City.
Right, I've heard of it.
Yeah, and it was known as the place where man becomes God.
Wow. That's quite a claim for a city. So what happened? Why isn't this common knowledge?
Well, like a lot of ancient wisdom, it was largely hidden away for centuries. Partly because of the European conquest, but also frankly, due to misuse of power by some people back then. So it became necessary to kind of shield this knowledge. But thankfully, it was preserved, passed down through lineages of masters, or nutwells. Got it. And Don Miguel Ruiz, he comes from the Eagle Knight lineage and felt guided to share these teachings now. But it's really key to understand this isn't laid out as a religion.
Right.
It's presented more as a practical way of life, something accessible, focused on finding real happiness and love.
Okay, let's get into it then. The book starts with this really arresting idea. What if our reality, what we perceive, isn't solid? What if it's more like a dream?
Not just when we sleep, right?
Exactly, 24 hours a day. He uses this amazing story, the smoky mirror. It's about this ancient human studying to be a medicine man. And in a dream, in a cave, he has this huge realization. I am made of light. I am made of stars. He sees light creating everything as one living being. And the core insight, human perception is merely light, perceiving light. But then there's this catch.
The catch being
this world of illusion, the dream, which acts, as he puts it, just like smoke, which doesn't allow us to see what we really are.
Oh, the smoke. And that connects to how we see others, doesn't it? He realized he could see himself in everyone, in everything.
Yeah, trees, animals, people.
But they couldn't see him in the same way. There was this wall of fog or smoke between the mirrors.
The dream of humans.
Exactly, formed by our interpretations, our beliefs filtering the light. And so he called himself the smoky mirror, to remember that. It's a profound call for self-awareness first,
Absolutely. So if we each have this personal dream, this smoky mirror thing going on, how does that scale up?
Right. Well, that personal dream connects to something bigger Ruiz calls the dream of the planet. Think of it as the collective dream. Society's dream. It's everything. We're born into the rules, beliefs, laws, religions, cultures, governments, schools, the whole structure.
The agreed upon reality.
The agreed upon illusion, maybe.
Right. And this is where domestication comes into play. They're basically trained from day one to fit this collective dream.
Precisely. From birth, humans get domesticated. Adults use our attention, our ability to focus, and just sheer repetition to implant society's rules in our minds.
How does that work exactly?
Well, we learn what to believe, what's good, what's bad, right, wrong, acceptable, unacceptable. It's compared very directly to training an animal, punishment and reward.
Yeah.
You do what's expected, you're a good boy, good girl, you don't, you're bad. It conditions us to constantly seek that positive attention, that approval.
Then pretend.
And often, to pretend to be what we're not, simply out of this deep-seated fear of rejection or punishment.
That's heavy. And this whole process creates an internal book of law.
It does. It's our personal belief system dictating our truth, even if it clashes with our own nature. And this internal system has enforcers. An inner judge who is constantly, relentlessly judging everything we do, think, feel, every little thing.
Constantly critiquing.
Constantly. And alongside the judge, we develop a victim part, the one that carries the blame, the guilt, the shame. This internal courtroom goes with us everywhere.
And that idea of paying thousands of times for one mistake, that's brutal. How does that actually play out? How do we break free from that self-punishment loop?
It creates so much suffering because unlike, say, an animal that makes a mistake and moves on, we humans, with our memories, We make a mistake, judge ourselves, find ourselves guilty, punish ourselves,
And then remember it later.
and do it all over again, thousands of times. Ruiz suggests that maybe 95% of our beliefs could actually be lies we've accepted.
95%. Wow.
Which turns the societal dream into, potentially, a dream of hell, filled with fear, anger, jealousy, injustice, where all that negative stuff feels normal.
And this internal noise, this chaos. You mentioned mitote.
Yeah, mitoetay, mitote. It's the Toltec term for that fog in the mind where it feels like 1,000 people talk at the same time.
Like mental static.
Exactly, or like Maya in India illusion. It just stops us seeing clearly, stops us seeing who we really are underneath it all.
So if we're constantly striving for this impossible image of perfection that society feeds us, what's the fallout?
Well, inevitably, self-rejection, and that leads to profound self-abuse. The book makes this really stark point. Our biggest fear isn't death.
No.
It's taking the risk to be alive, and express what we really are.
Wow.
We end up abusing ourselves internally far more than anyone else abuses us externally. We even tolerate external abuse if it's less than our self-abuse, because deep down, that internal judge says we deserve it.
Okay, so if we're stuck in this dream of hell, fueled by all these fear-based agreements we've made with ourselves, draining our energy, what's the escape hatch?
Right. Well, this is where Don Miguel Ruiz introduces the core of the book. 4 very powerful agreements.
4 agreements.
Yeah. And the idea is if you adopt these, you can start breaking those old fear-based chains. You can transform your life from that dream of hell into your own personal dream of heaven.
It sounds simple, but I bet it's profound.
It is. They're not just rules. They're like a methodology for unlearning all that conditioning. It requires a deep dive into how we operate. Should we get into the first one?
Let's do it. Agreement 1.
Yeah.
Be impeccable with your word. What does impeccable really mean here? And why is the word so powerful?
He sees the word as this almost sacred power. It's our tool to create, like a gift from God, he says.
Create or destroy.
Exactly. It's a two-edged sword. Use it badly, misuse it, and you create hell. He calls it black magic. Use it impeccably, and you create beauty, love, white magic.
Can you give an example?
Think about history. A powerful speaker using words rooted in fear can sway millions, lead to immense destruction. Hitler is the extreme example used in the book. It shows the sheer power of words when misused.
Okay. And impeccable itself. It's not about perfection.
No, not perfect grammar or anything. It literally means without sin. And sin, in this context, is anything you do against yourself.
Against yourself.
But primarily self-rejection. So being impeccable means not using your words to attack yourself or others, because if you insult someone, you're ultimately using the word against yourself. It generates negativity, hate that comes back to you.
That makes sense. What about gossip?
Oh, he calls gossip black magic at its very worst. It's like a computer virus for the human mind. It corrupts communication, spreads emotional poison.
Like the example of the teacher.
Right. You hear some negative gossip about a new teacher before you even meet them. Oh, they're a jerk. Suddenly you've absorbed that poison. You see them through that filter, interact differently. Maybe the whole class experience is tainted. All from a little bit of gossip, that virus.
And this applies to self-talk too, massively.
Hugely. Maybe most importantly. Things like, I look awful, I'm so stupid, I can't do this. Those are powerful negative spells we cast on ourselves. Being impeccable with your word, both outwardly and inwardly, starts building an immunity to negativity from others and makes your mind fertile for, as he puts it, seeds of love.
Okay, that flows really logically into the second agreement then. Don't take anything personally. If words have that much power.
Then what other people say to us carries potential poison too, right?
Right.
So the core idea is simple but deep. Whatever happens around you, don't take it personally. Someone insults you. It's actually about them. It reflects their dream, their beliefs, their stuff. It's not fundamentally about you.
That sounds incredibly freeing, but also really hard. Why is it so hard not to take things personally?
It is hard because we're conditioned to think everything is about us. It's the maximum expression of selfishness, Ruiz says, assuming everything revolves around me. Taking things personally basically means you willingly ingest their emotional poison.
So the benefit is immunity.
Pretty much. Immunity to poison in the middle of hell. When you genuinely don't take it personally, you don't get offended easily. You avoid needless conflict. You don't feel that constant need to defend yourself or be right.
Does Ruiz talk about his own experience with this?
He does. He says he doesn't take it personally if someone calls him the best or the worst because he knows who he is. And if something he says happens to hurt someone, he understands it's likely because his words touched one of their existing wounds, not because his intention was to harm.
So practicing this means you don't need external validation.
Exactly. You don't need to rely on trusting what others say or think about you. You just need to trust yourself. He says you can then travel around the world with your heart completely open and no one can hurt you. It's about building internal resilience.
Okay. Agreement number 3, don't make assumptions. This feels like a huge one, especially maybe in relationships.
Oh, absolutely. We seem hardwired to make assumptions about everything. And the crucial, dangerous part is we then believe our assumptions are the absolute truth.
Yeah. And that's the root of so many misunderstandings, arguments, taking things personally, creating, as he puts it, a whole big drama for nothing.
Like assuming your partner knows what you want without telling them.
Exactly. Or assuming you know what they're thinking. Or assuming your love can somehow magically change someone into who you want them to be. But Ruiz says real love is about accepting other people the way they are without trying to change them.
So what's the antidote to assumption?
It sounds almost too simple, but it's powerful. Ask questions.
Just ask.
Yeah. Have the courage to ask. Keep asking until things are actually clear. Don't guess. Don't project. Communicate clearly, cleanly, free of emotional poison. This loops back to making your word impeccable too.
It stops the whole drama cycle before it starts.
Precisely. Clear communication prevents those assumption-based conflicts. It's about being proactive, not reactive.
Which leads us nicely to the 4th agreement. Always do your best. This feels like the action principle, the one that makes the others stick. That's exactly how it's framed. This is the agreement that allows the other 3 to become deeply ingrained habits. It's all about putting them into action consistently.
But your best, that changes, right? It's not a fixed standard.
Absolutely not. Your best is never going to be the same from one moment to the next. It fluctuates. Depends on whether you're sick or healthy, happy or sad, energized or tired. Even as you practice these agreements, your best actually improves over time.
So it's not about perfectionism.
No, definitely not. It's about doing no more and no less than your best in any given moment. The payoff. You avoid self-judgment, guilt, regrets. It breaks a big spell of self-criticism.
There's that story in the book about the Buddhist monk.
Oh yeah, the one meditating for hours and hours, thinking more equals faster enlightenment.
Right. And the master tells him, basically, you're meditating too much, you'll take longer.
And the punchline is beautiful. You are not here to sacrifice your joy or your life. You are here to live, to be happy, and to love. Do your best.
And perhaps you will learn that no matter how long you meditate, you can live, love, and be happy.
Exactly. It encapsulates it perfectly. Doing your best means you take action because you enjoy it, because you love it, not because you're expecting a reward.
So it leads to more enjoyment, more presence.
Yeah, enjoying life intensely, being productive without it feeling like a grind, feeling happy without constant boredom or frustration. And importantly, even if you slip up on the first 3 agreements, which you will if you always do your best to get back on track, you naturally start misusing your word less, taking things personally less, making assumptions less. It builds momentum.
Practice makes the master.
That's the essence of it.
Okay, so we've got the agreements as tools, but if we're so deeply programmed by this dream of the planet, how do we actually undo that programming? This brings us to the Toltec path to freedom.
Right.
We often blame things outside ourselves for feeling trapped, but Ruiz argues it's our own domesticated mind, our internal state, that stops us. He contrasts the domesticated adult, ruled by the judge and victim,
with the wild child, free, living in the moment, expressing feelings, not afraid to love.
So how do we reclaim that freedom? Ruiz uses this powerful concept of a parasite.
Yeah, it's a striking metaphor. The judge, the victim, the whole belief system. He describes it as a parasite that invades the human mind.
A parasite. Wow.
It feeds on negative emotions, fear-based emotions. It controls our personal dream, thriving on drama, suffering, conflict. It's essentially this internal program running us based on lies.
So reclaiming our freedom is like fighting this parasite.
Exactly. Becoming a warrior in this context means rebelling against the parasite, fighting for the right to use our own mind, our own voice. It's framed as a genuine war for independence happening inside us.
An internal revolution. So what are the strategies to win this war? How do we get rid of this mental parasite?
He lays out a few paths. One is tackling your fears directly, one by one, attacking the parasite head by head, so to speak. It can be gradual, but it chips away at its power. Another way is to essentially starve the parasite. Gain conscious control over your emotions. Stop feeding it the fear, the anger, the drama it craves. Cut off its food supply.
Deny it energy.
Right. And then there's a more profound path called the initiation of the dead.
Sounds intense.
It's symbolic. It represents a death of the old self, the old dream, the parasite. It dies, allowing for a resurrection into a new state, free, wise, more like that original, authentic self. A metaphorical rebirth.
So it's about transformation, the art of transformation, the dream of the second attention. How do we actively do that reprogramming?
It's about realizing we can consciously change our agreements. We can reprogram our own minds. It's not about becoming naive or innocent again, but about consciously choosing what to believe.
Taking inventory.
Exactly. Taking an inventory of those limiting, fear-based beliefs and actively replacing them with agreements that empower us. This takes immense personal power, as he calls it, willpower and sustained effort.
And forgiveness plays a big role here.
Huge. To heal those emotional wounds from domestication, he compares them to infected wounds on our skin. We have to practice forgiveness.
Forgiving others.
Yes, forgiving those who wronged us, hurt us through their own domesticated state. But crucially, not for their sake, but for our own. For self-love. To release the poison.
And that includes forgiving?
Parents, siblings, friends, partners, and ultimately, crucially, forgiving ourselves. That leads to self-acceptance, which is the opposite of the self-rejection the parasite thrives on.
Ruiz also brings in the angel of death as a teacher. How does thinking about death help us live freely?
It's a powerful reframe. Embracing the reality of death helps us live fully in the present. If we know our time is limited, we're less likely to sweat the small stuff, less afraid of judgment, less afraid of loss.
It cuts through the fear.
Yeah. The angel of death kind of whispers, everything here is mine eventually. It's not yours permanently, but you can use it for now. It encourages us to let go of the past, stop worrying excessively about the future, and just be here now. Share love freely, express ourselves fully, because tomorrow isn't guaranteed. It pushes us to be truly alive.
So, bringing this all together, what does this mean for you listening right now? Don Miguel Ruiz essentially invites you to forget everything you've learned in that old dream.
Wiping the slate clean, in a way.
And consciously create a new dream, your own personal dream of heaven. Just imagine that for a second. A life where you don't feel the need to constantly justify yourself.
No fear of being judged.
No desperate need for other people's approval. Not being afraid to love, to be vulnerable.
A life where you genuinely love yourself just the way you are, knowing you are inherently perfect, just as you are.
It sounds like bliss.
And he argues this state of bliss is entirely possible. It's a choice. Choosing to base your life on love, which only produces happiness and inner peace. The mitote, that internal chatter.
Goes on permanent vacation.
Exactly. It becomes quiet.
That's the goal.
The Toltecs call it the new dream. Other traditions might call it the promised land, nirvana, heaven, different names, same idea.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the choice is laid out to suffer our destiny or to enjoy our destiny.
And it takes work.
It takes strong will, definitely, and repetition. Making these agreements habits. Don Miguel himself says he fell down many times trying to live these agreements.
But he got back up.
He got back up. He said, if I fall, I'm strong enough, I'm intelligent enough, I can do it. And the message is, you can too. Focus on today. Practice today. Make the agreements a daily habit.
Well, we really hope this deep dive has given you some powerful insights, maybe some practical steps you can start thinking about for your own path to personal freedom.
Yeah, it's potent stuff.
It really is. If this exploration resonated with you, if you found it helpful, please do hit that like button. It really helps more people discover this wisdom. And maybe share this deep dive with a friend you think might benefit from these ideas. We always love hearing from you too, so please drop a comment below. Let us know which of the 4 agreements are you most intrigued by or maybe most excited to start practicing first.
Yeah, it'd be great to hear.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today on The Deep Dive.
Thanks, everyone.